What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Lyfe podcast. Once again, let's get to know our Nailtech. And today, OMG, I have such a special guest, my friend Tino Vo. I met Tino Vo a couple years ago in Sacramento at an event. And I tell you something, this Nailtech right here is not just the nail artist, but so nice, so educating, so helpful, so inspiring.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tino Vo.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
How are you today?
Wonderful. Especially meeting you today.
Well, Tino, thank you. You have been like my inspiration since
Thank
day
you.
one when I started content creating because I love your creativity, your art. But before we get to all of that, tell all of us about yourself. Where did you start it? How did you become this nail tech you are today?
Okay, so as a boy, I'm an artist my whole life. Just not when I start doing now, but like as a kid, I'm not very like socialized with people. So what I do is I would just be in my room and drawing and painting and get lost in my work. So it's art comfort me. It's very personal to me since the beginning. And it's not like I'm partnering to make friend or it's not like I'm hard to hang out with. It's just that I'm very shy. So I'm not very sociable as a kid. So as an artist, I went to live and I didn't aware of nail art until my teenage years. If I had to take you all the way back, I would choose to take you back to where I worked at a Chinese restaurant at
Wow.
age 17, 18 years ago. And it's a typical scenario for most people in the workplace. I mean, you do everything you can to prove yourself. The 12 years old boss is an idiot, and you always get paid less and never get appreciated for your work. So I left. At age 17, I left to California for nails. And how it gets started is I watching my mom do nails and I fell in love. Even if I'm an artist before that, I did not aware of nail art. I would just fall in love with the polish and the client, the chit chatting back and forth. That's why I fell in love with. I love everything about nails. So at the time, my mom were having her nail license, so she working for someone else, and she able to talk my dad into getting a license also. So I was a little kid watching them practicing now, and I say I want to do something. Give me something to do. So while they watching me playing with now, I guess I see something in me, like some kind of potential. So they sent me to California, and it was so scary time because here I am alone in a big city, and I was shaking like a leaf. I didn't know what to do, so I studied and I worked part time at my aunt's shop in California. And so I was a rookie nail tech, and I know you was a rookie nail tech at one point, so you know exactly what life is like for a rookie nail tech. It
Yeah.
was terrible. It was terrible because a rookie nail tech had to go to work early. Donuts and Starbucks is expected because the other people are so busy to get donuts and Starbucks, so it's become a rookie job, which is not in the resume, by the way. And also, a rookie had to take the trash out at night, also not in the resume. So the rookie nail tech got all kind of abuse, and there was this one lady in her shop. Her name is Tina. And Tina is amazing at nail art. But remember, I'm talking about 18 years ago. So, it's nowhere compared to now.
Correct.
But Tina was able to take a polished striper and draw these flowers. But 18 years ago, people were dotting flowers. They're not
Right.
drawing. That's insane.
Yeah.
So everybody wants Tina to do their nails. So I was inspired. I approached Tina. She loved me. And I think she's the only one in that shop that loved me. So she
Mhm.
said, no problem. Let me show you how to do these flowers. And you couldn't imagine type so many people were against it in the shop. They were like,
Oh,
we learned from her. We can't do that. Only she can do that. We can't do that. You're not gonna be able to learn from. They do whatever they take to discourage me from being better. You
right,
know, and now today I still hear that. Sometime I hear people say, "Oh, design is so difficult. We couldn't do it." I experienced it back then. Back then, everybody was saying the same thing: "Is oh, Tina, design is so difficult. You wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't learn it." So I
right,
determined. I practiced for the first time. It was a failure. I practiced the second time, failure, third time, failures. 2 or 3 weeks later, I still fail at what I do with that flower. But you see, the interesting thing is I'm an artist.
right,
So it's obviously not because of my skill, but just to draw on canvas and paper and with a paintbrush and with a marker, it's way different than to draw on a nail surface with a polish that dry under 10 seconds.
correct,
Because back then gel didn't exist. So
correct.
I know that it's not me. I know I'm missing something. So I start watching Tina. I watch the way her hand moved, the way she said, and until this day, the way I was teaching a student when I go around and watch them, I
Yeah,
never watch what they do. I always watch their hand and feet
right.
because after I examine everything that she do, I go home and practice, and a week later, I got that flowers. I got it
Wow.
down. And so you think that a person would think that if they spend 6 months to practice a design, then when they succeed, then they're gonna have to spend another 6 months practicing a second design and more time for the third design. But that's not true. The moment you learn one design, you can do everything else. Like
Wow.
10 more design, same stroke, same step, just different color and different looks.
Correct.
So I start to do butterfly. I start to do zebra.
Wow.
Back then cheetah print doesn't really exist. Zebra
Correct.
was first. So I do zebra, and
Wow.
all the Latina customer want me. They say, "I want that little boy. I want him. I want him." And you would think that life get better for me as a rookie? Absolutely not.
Really?
A life for a rookie nail tech who just started that got all the attention. Everybody in that shop hated me except for Tina. They the so jealous type. When I walk by, I can smell the envy coming out from them. And it was fabulous. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And that is my first time I get a first taste of real power when you are skilled in an unskilled environment. It's
Wow.
empowering you. So it motivates me to keep practicing and practicing. And me and Tina were an item. Tina took me under her wings, and
Wow.
it was my mentor. And eventually I had to leave California, go back to Missouri to start high school. And I
Wow.
remember that day exactly, is every detail about that day because it was rainy. I was excited to come back to start my new journey, but I was heartbroken to leave Tina, to leave California. It was bittersweet. And I tell Tina, I say, I would try my best to measure up to your level one day.
Wow.
And she stopped me. She said, no, Tina, no, you are not going to be like me. You're going to be better than me. One day, you're going to be known in the United States or maybe even the whole world. You're going to be surrounded by a crowd, and I'm going to be an old lady, try my best to fight through the crowd to see you. And I laugh at her. I say, you're crazy, you know? And, but what she said, she was right because within 2 years, I surpassed her. And I keep practicing until this day. But until this day, she is forever my best mentor, not because of her skill set, but because she believed in me when I don't. I wasn't believe that I'm gonna be. like her or maybe better. I
Right.
didn't believe I was special, but she believed that I was special. She see that in me. So when people say, "Little boy, what's your name?" Well, I can tell them my Vietnamese name. It was difficult to say, so I had to choose an English name, and I choose Tino after Tina. So that is how Tino Vo is emerged in the nails word.
Wow.
And fast forward like 10 years later, Pinterest were made, Instagram were made. I remember my client say, Tina, you should put your work on Instagram. And I said, okay, sure, I will. And I put my work on Instagram, and I realized that, maybe I wasn't the best. Maybe I was just the best in that town. But there's so many talented people that have been hiding all this time all over the world. So I post my work on Instagram, and I keep practicing, and I keep learning just to have my work better. You know what I mean? When I seen my social media board, so I managed to get to 100,000 followers on Instagram when I met Jenny. So
Wow.
Jenny, she do nail for Cardi B's. So she contact me and say, Tina, you got to go to class with me. You got to put yourself out there. And I said, no, I don't want to. I'm shy. What do you mean teaching? People are going to laugh at me. Have you hear my voice? I mean, they're going to laugh. They're not going to learn anything. And she kept like asking
Pushing.
me and being very insistent for 2 years. And finally I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So my first class is I go to New York. And I was so nervous, Ty, because there were so many people. I was trembling. I don't know what to do. I couldn't breathe. I have to go upstairs and like take a rest. I
Yeah.
say I've never been in front of so many people before,
Yeah.
and I'm a shy creature. I'm not a extrovert. I'm an introvert.
Right.
So I finally summoned enough courage to go down to that room when the time come. Jenny introduced me. I just stand there and smile and wave. And the moment I sit down to that table
Yeah.
and start to do my first design, I realized that everything that I have been doing this for over a decade. So I have enough practice already. That's nothing to, uh, I'm not going to
You're just in
have
a
an
different
awkward
spot.
moment where I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. I
Yeah.
know I have to do everything. So I start to become this creature that I don't recognize. I was talking and it was loud and
It's
I was
natural.
laughing and giggling and doing crazy design. It was fabulous and the whole class go crazy.
Wow.
And when I go around to see people, of course you already know, I watch in their hand and feet and I give them a judgment on their design. And the moment they can do a certain design, that sparkle in their eyes, they are grateful for it.
Yeah.
And it's motivate me. It's make me excited. So after a successful class in New York, I find my next talent is education. So
Wow.
that is my transition from a nail tech to a nail artist to an educator. So I start to go to class with John, a nail dad, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
start to go class with Lena and Tom. So I start to experiment myself, and I love teaching. I decided that teaching is my thing. But you
Right.
see, at that point, what I do is that I don't have my brand yet.
Yeah.
So I would try one or two products from this company. I
Mm-hmm.
would try one or two products from the other company, and I find out that a company will have one or two really good products that are better than the rest, and then
Right.
the rest is just mediocre. And
Yeah.
so the same thing with another company. So for me to ask for sponsor to a class, to ask like 10 different companies
Correct.
to sponsor me. So after doing that a while, I feel a little uncomfortable.
Mm.
So I start to develop my own product for
Got it.
me to give it to my student, not to sell, just to give
Right.
it my students so I don't have to ask people.
Correct.
So my student go crazy for the product, but people have been telling me, you should put it online to sell it. And I tell them, I say, who will buy my product? I never sell anything before. There's no way. I don't know how to do it. They say, just put it on. You're Tino Vo. They're gonna buy your product. He says, no way. So at that point, I was selling press on.
Yeah.
So I have a press on shop. So I decided to just put my product on. My product, my first product is metal effect gels.
Yeah.
So I contact a lab and I tell them that, hey, at this point, there is a 4-in-1 gel polish. You know what that is? You put
Right.
it on, you don't need base coat, you don't need top coat.
Correct.
But I discovered that when you use 4-in-1 polish, you can rub on chrome.
Mm.
So I tell the lab that I want a thicker consistency
Mm.
of that same thing. So people can design and rub on chrome.
Right.
And they laugh at me. They say, we only have 4-in-1 gel polish, but if you do gel paint, you don't need it to go without top coat, without base coat, because you just drawing on top of background.
Right.
That product wouldn't sell.
Right.
I tell them, just do it anyway. I have to go to like 3 different labs
Yeah.
for a lab to be agree to do it for me because at this point it's not on the market yet.
Right.
So when I put on my press on shop and advertise what it does, overnight about 1,000 bottles sold. It was crazy.
Wow.
So in the morning, it took me a week to pack all that up.
Right. Right.
And so I was baffled. What's going on here? So I started making more product because
No.
over the past 10 years, I know exactly what I need as an artist.
Right.
So I'm making all kind of products and they all accommodate to my design. That's why till this day, when it comes to Tino Vo design, I know that there are two type of people. One is the people that know my product and they watching my lesson, they're watching how I teach, and they know what product do, what each product do.
Right.
Versus the other people, if I hear anybody that say, "Oh, Tino design is so difficult, I wouldn't be able to do it," I know immediately that they doesn't know my product
Right.
because my product I made to make my design. So without
Right.
my product, it's impossible to make that design.
Correct.
So that is my journey in start selling product because then I will spend time to package and ship and do nails and educate people
Right.
going around to do class. It's crazy. So one of my customer, her name is Cindy, and Cindy is a Swarovski crystal distributor, and she do it over 30 years. She is the biggest in North America. And as
Wow.
you know, in the world, there's not many Swarovski crystal distributors. There are only like maybe 10 or
Correct.
more. But Cindy told me, she said, okay, here's a problem. You want to teach people, right? You want to do nail art? That's great. That's what you love. But you have to know that you also packaging and shipping.
Correct.
It's gonna get crazier and crazier. You're gonna get more and more and more people. So if you spend all day to pack and ship, you're not gonna have time to teach people.
Right.
So she said, let's merge. So that's when we merged together.
Mm.
So I do what I love, and she do what she do best by packaging and shipping because
Nice.
she do it over 30 years.
Right.
So that is when I start going online
Nice.
and I show people, like I take a bottle and I show people what to do, and they go crazy. So I stopped going around and teach. I decide that since I sell my product, I'm gonna teach them for free. So
Right.
they don't have to invest. They only learn as much as they can and then
And
go
invest in the
back
car.
and buy a product.
Right.
So I start making YouTube channel and like I don't focus on short video like a 1 minute video. I
Right.
focus on hour long lesson like free nail art class or how
Right.
to use your product, and people love it, especially beginners.
Yeah.
So that's why I do until this day. And I know you watch a lot of tutorial videos,
I do.
especially just content making in general.
Correct.
But I know that you notice that my video are never a show off video. It's all
No.
tutorial where I
Yep.
show every single step. So that is the story of how I get to that point because there is many transition, but I didn't plan any of that. I just drift through the industry and I just fell into one spot to another and it led me into this point today.
That is so amazing. I mean, just hearing your story when you started as a rookie and Tina took you under her wings. I mean,
Yeah,
as a nail tech starting out, who doesn't want somebody to take you under their wings and show you the way? And the fact that she even see the future, knowing that one of this day, Tino, you're gonna have an audience, and she is so right. And after hearing your story, Tino, it's almost like this career picks you. You know, you didn't pick this career. It was meant to be for you. And the best part about it is that everything you did throughout your career, you did it with your heart.
yes,
You
that's
care
important.
so much. And that's the important part because everything you did was like, you want to be a good artist, you practice. You want to be a good nail tech, you practice. You want to teach, you teach. You want to make content, you make. I mean, everything you have put together in your story so far, you did it passionately. And that's amazing because that's why I want the nail tech, the next generation, everyone who's watching this podcast or listening to it to understand that anything can happen if you love what you do like Tino does.
Exactly.
Tino, what was your biggest struggle? Like how was it like when you became that octopus where you were doing everything? Did you face a lot of like stress level? Do you face a lot of like, oh my God, why am I doing so much? What do I need to like? How do you able to plan out your strategy knowing that you were doing so much at one point?
So my struggle, it wasn't really a struggle, it was a confusion
Mm,
because my transition from I was doing now happily and then I started to teach. Yeah, sure, I'm happy too. And then I start to sell product. Okay. And then when I pack and ship, that is when I start to be a little confused
got you.
because I would spend all day to pack and ship. And then I would think that the next day I would have time for nails and nail art and all that. But I got more order the next day. So
Mm,
that is when I start to complain to my customer. I say, oh, that's a lot of work. When they say, do you know how you do? And I say, oh, it's just a lot of work.
I
And
know what you
from
mean.
a standpoint of going, oh, I wonder what I'm going to do today. I wonder what design I'm going to do today. To a point where I go, oh, that's a lot. What am I going to do today? That's
Yeah,
a lot to do today. So you can see the energy shift. And
correct.
that is when someone flew in and saved me because you know it doesn't happen to everyone.
Right.
Because I know that some people that when they get to that point, the people that around them push them to go even further and go.
Correct.
You have to ship more, you have to sell more, things like that, and it destroys them. But I
Right.
was glad to have a smart business woman like Cindy who showed me that hey, you know, celebrity, singer, they all have a manager.
Mm.
And even if they are bad singer, if they have a good manager, he still be able to push
Bring
them
them
up.
up. Yep.
So same thing will apply to you. You're an artist, you're a star. You cannot do business. If you choose to business, then don't be trying to be a star. You can only
Wow.
pick one out of the two. You cannot try to do everything. It require a team. So I wouldn't say that that is a struggle. I would say that at that point is when I choose my path. And I think I choose the right path. Because if I keep going, I wouldn't get to today. Would
Wow.
still be shipping and packing, and people will have no idea who I am. Because I wouldn't be online teaching and showing the world what I can do with my art. I will be
Wow.
selling. So that is what I will apply to people that get to this point where they ready for a transition. But for beginner, I have different advice. It's just it's just an advice that I give for people that getting ready to jump into another chapter of their nail life.
Correct. Now, let's dig in a little bit about the nail salon industry real quick. As
Mhm.
you know, you work in the industry for quite long time, and experienced as you are right now, what change would you love to see in the nail salon industry?
Oh, pricing for sure. You see, what cripple our industry, I don't know if you know, not a lot of people know this. but in the 50 or 60 now are expensive. And
Correct.
then somewhere along the way, people ruined it. People will open a shop. The way
I
they
agree with
compete
you.
is instead of $70 for nail sets, let's do it for 60.
Yep. Yep.
And then another shop would be like, you go 60, I go 50.
Yep.
So the nail price drop. But I ask you this, if you were supposed to make $50 an hour and you end up making 20 bucks instead, will you keep the same amount of work or you would try to do it fast so you
I would
can
do it
pick up
fast.
another chunk of money? So that is what happened to our industry is price drop. Same with service. Service price drops and people were happy with that for a while. They go in salon, they get a full set, French tip, manicure, pedicure done. But since the day that Pinterest was coming out, Instagram coming out, it's have revised us because people can show off,
Yes.
and especially the young generation. And you know what? When we show off, when we do impressive work, guess what? We're gonna take a little longer, and you're gonna pay a
Absolutely.
little more. At
Absolutely.
first, people, the old generation were against it. They're like, no, we're not going to have that. But you see, the old die off and the young keep, introducing
Exactly.
into the nail industry
Exactly.
more and more and more. Right now, there's a lot of young people in this industry. So to me, that's a battle that they cannot fight because now nail price are increasing.
Correct.
200, 300. Some even have the audacity to charge $1,000 for nails.
Has
And
to
you
be.
know what? That is the greatest thing that happened to our industry because when people start making money, more people will want to learn, more people want to be in nail tech. And you know what? More people will be able to express themselves, paying their money and get nail done. Does that mean that people couldn't go in and get a $25 nail set? No, they
Yep.
still can
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep.
It's just now that the industry, I think, is expand for more people like us, for
Correct.
artists or for art lover, and I'm absolutely thrilled about that. I think that change is already happening,
Yep.
and it will keep going.
Well, what I really see is that, like you mentioned, the old generation's dying, the new generation's going up. And not just that, clients are willing to pay good money
Yes,
for a good set of nail for good service because
yes,
they are sick and tired of being rushed out. They are sick and tired of being, pushed around. They want
right,
to sit and relax.
exactly.
And let me,
So
so go ahead.
So I am absolutely thrilled about this change, and that is part of one thing that motivates me on the creation of my product because I want to make product that in the beginning I love drawing and get into really detailed portrait and all that. But since I go to beauty show, a
Yeah.
lot of salon owners just pop up to me and say, Tino, listen, I don't want to do art, okay? But I want to make a lot of money. I got
Right.
people that can do art, not like you, but they can do art. Okay, make it happen for me. So that when I hear that more and more, I start to develop product that people only use a product. They don't need skill. They
Right.
only need to know what the product do. That's why I go online and I teach because if I'm not doing that, if I'm not teaching for free on YouTube, when people look at my product, it's just a bottle. They're not gonna know what it do. They
Right.
have to study into it.
Correct.
But when they know what that bottle do, they can whip it out. They don't need to practice for years and years and years like I did. So that is something that motivate me to make my product like this. So I will tell you that every single thing I do is come from feeling because
Well,
that is one of the reasons why I don't get burned out.
yeah, because you love what you do, and every time you
Yeah.
do it, it's like a passion. It's not a job for you, and
Yeah.
we can definitely see that. And what? Another question I would love to know is how do you pick your outfit?
Oh, so I'm a collector, not a hoarder, just a collector.
Okay.
And so, of course, what I have walked you through is just my nail journey.
Right.
And something that people doesn't know is that I like to do everything. See,
Oh.
when I talk about art, I'm not just talking about painting and drawing. So, of course, there is a period of my life when I dream of become a fashion designer.
Wow.
So, of course, um, just a short story,
Yeah,
not
go
a
for
long
it.
story. But my mom is a seamstress. I asked her, I say, please teach me the skill. She said, no, that's for poor people. You go ahead and be a doctor and lawyer. I'm not going to teach you how to be a seamstress. And I beg and I beg and I beg. And one day, my mom decided to show me a basic pattern of a t-shirt and stretch pen. And I take that pattern and I refuse to make a basic t-shirt and a stretch pant. So I spent 50 hours using that basic pattern and I developed into a dress shirt and
Wow.
a dress pant. And I went down and my mom had no comment. She just glanced at me and she go back to do what she do. And at that moment I knew she admit defeat.
Yes,
So I
indeed.
love to design. And I would say that if I pursue that industry, I think that I would do pretty well because I'm also mathematic. I love math. It's
Wow.
just that when I go to study now, that is my plan is I'm gonna have enough money to go to college for fashion design.
Right.
But it didn't turn out that way because I discovered nail art. And by the time I'm ready to go to college, I have a full book. I was making $50 an hour at that point 10 years ago, and that was a lot of money. So
Right.
that's why I stopped pursuing the other thing and
Wow.
pursued nail art.
Now, Tino, how proud is your parents seeing that how well you're growing?
Very proud. My parents stopped doing nail now, but once in a while they have to admit that, if we haven't let you pursue that, then I don't even know what you would do right now. Right now, I probably be a lawyer or a doctor. They want me to be a surgeon. They say, Tino, you have a hand for a surgeon. I tell them, yes, I can cut. I just don't want to study. So yeah, if you take me into an
Wow.
operation room, I will use that scissor and that knife to cut. But I'm gonna cut the wrong place because I don't want to study to be a surgeon.
When it comes to doing nails, Tino, as you can see, nail art has become like the highest demand in the nail industry.
Yes.
Do you have fear for the nail tech who are old school and they're having a hard time developing nail art? Like, do
No,
you ever thought about that?
no. I have no fear because that is exactly what I'm doing. When I'm at beauty show, that is a type of nail tech that I encounter. It's people who is old school who open salon for a long time. They have money.
Mm,
They just don't want to draw. They're
I see.
not like these youngsters who come in and draw and paint. So that is why they tell me, Tino, you're going to develop a product that we just need to take that product, whip it out, and
Let
that's
it
it.
work.
We
That's
don't
it.
need to like painting little faces or doing little line. We don't want to do that. That's make slow money. We need fast money. So that is one special thing about my product line is what you see online is part of showing up, part of teaching, especially on Instagram. But what I show on YouTube are completely teaching, especially Salon Ready. I have different portion, like different playlists for people that love doing art. It's
Right,
called Free No Art Class, and I show people unedited every single set that I did. But I also have a portion called How to Use Products, and
right.
I still do all kind of design. It's just though not the design that I took for hours, though a design that I just blindfold it and do it just because I understand the product. So yeah, I have no fear for them because I have it ready for them.
That is so nice of you. I love your energy, Tino. Like from day
Thank
one,
you.
even till now, every time I see your video, it makes me so happy because I can see the joy that you bring out through your video, through your art, and your art is so amazing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the art real quick before I know you're busy. How do you come up with some of these amazing design on top of your head and you connect the whole hand together? I mean, let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. So I will walk you through what I call a memory bank. A
Mm,
memory bank is basically, I'll give you an example. If I walk out in the street and I saw a girl with a pink purse, okay, with gold chain. I would be like, oh, that's pretty. And that moment of loving whatever it is that I seen, I absorbed some of what she had on. And
Wow.
then the next day, I go on the street and I saw a girl with like cheetah pants and cheetah jacket, and I'd be like, wow, that's pretty. That's
Wow.
amazing. And I absorb in that. And I have to tell you that if whatever you see that you hate it, or maybe you're jealous of it, or maybe you have some sort of attitude toward it, like, oh, it's okay, I can do it better. Your brain is not going to absorb it. Your brain is only absorb what you are
Willing to
loving.
let it
It's
absorb.
called inspire.
Yeah.
You can
Wow.
truly absorb the detail of something you truly inspire. So when my client come in and say, hey, I want something nice, bright, for spring. I want it to be a little sassy, maybe some metallic elements. To be like,
Yeah.
okay, spring, I have pink, and sassy, let's do with cheetah print. Pink cheetah print, maybe a touch of gold chain and gold crystal on it to make a set. So I design a set based on how rich my memory bank is. And
Wow.
memory bank is basically um if I say a word and you have many things to follow with it. Like if I say Valentine, okay, a
Heart.
typical person
Red.
will only think of like heart, um heart and love, I guess. But a person with a rich memory bank can go, okay, Valentine, okay, chocolates, cream,
Bear.
dripping, hot swan dove,
Yeah.
glitters, lips, kiss.
Wow.
That is what meant to have a rich memory bank. You able to take everything that you absorb, you take it out, you examine it, and you put it together into an asset.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tino. That
Yes,
was
of
some
course.
really good education. And, I would love to have you come back here for another
Yeah,
podcast to get to know more about you. Because I think what we have
yeah.
heard today was just literally a glimpse of your life. And it was so
Yes,
inspiring and amazing already.
a lot of story. And Ty, um, my mission is to, because I used to be a rookie, and it's so hard to
Yeah.
to to, to start it 15 or 18 years ago, and nobody go online at that point to teach.
Correct. Correct.
You gotta try to teach yourself, or maybe watch some other people, or maybe you're lucky enough to have a mentor. So my mission is to empower people, especially people that are just started, that are not confident enough for the job. And if I have to give an advice to beginners, I would tell them to first be honest. Second is be patient, and third is to keep your eye open. And the most important thing is to be honest,
Yeah.
because you either like nail art, or you either just like nails, or
Yeah.
maybe you don't like any of it. You just want to be popular and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's fine too. Or maybe you're a comedian or an influencer.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a great personality, and there is many, many spot in the industry for
Correct.
everyone. But you
Correct.
have to be honest, because you don't want to spend your entire life learning nail art and lie to yourself while you're not really. Because when I go teach, I notice there's two type of students. Ty, when I teach, because I go all day long, I don't take break.
Yeah.
But near lunch, I noticed that there are two type of people. Person number one will say, "How long do we have to practice this until we can go to lunch?"
Mm.
And person number two will say, "How long do we get to practice until lunch?" And
Not
the have to and get to are two completely different things.
correct.
Because a person that really love it, practice doesn't really feel long to them. They couldn't wait to practice. You know what? They can practice for hours, for weeks, for months. And like me, feel like time have just flew by.
Me too.
You forget the time. But a person that say, how long do we have to practice? You know that they're not into it.
Yeah.
They're into it for either money or for popularity or for
Correct.
something, but they're not into the art itself.
Correct.
And for those people, you know, hour feel like days.
I know.
Days feel like months. So I'm not saying that if you not like nail art, you cannot do nail art. I'm just saying that that is something you have to be honest with yourself so
Correct.
you can prepare yourself if opportunity came that you need to be an influencer, you need to jump on it because that's
Correct.
your thing. You
Correct.
know, so be actually honest, and then you have to be patient. That's number two, because just because your friend get on Instagram, gain 600,000 followers in a month, that doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you.
Correct.
But if you really chasing at it, if you really into it and trust what you do, eventually it will
We'll
come.
get
It's just a matter of time. So
correct.
you have to be incredibly patient because that also comes from my teaching. When
Yeah.
I teach a person the design, you do know that the process are not really that attractive. Only the result is attractive. So
Correct.
I spot many people who give up before they even get to the result. They think that they're doing an ugly job. They
Right.
don't know that that's just a process. So same thing apply to your nail life. You have to be incredibly patient with your journey, especially whatever going on in that journey is not what you're into.
Wow.
Then you just really have patience and keep your eye open because you know just because you start out as a nail tech, that doesn't mean you're gonna end up as a nail tech.
Correct.
You might end up like you and me, Ty. We both start as a nail tech, but now we are doing two completely different things. You
Still.
influence, you doing comedy, you do podcasts, and I'm teaching, I'm developing products. They are not now. They are two completely different things in the nail industry. So
Right.
a smart person will keep their mind wide open for
Yes.
opportunity because everything will be waiting for you. The right thing will be waiting for you. So always remember to be honest, be patient, and keep your eye wide open.
That is actually the best advice anybody can get from this podcast. Take that and ride with it, y'all. And let me tell you something. When I started out doing like tutorial nail review and then I ran into Tino's nail art, that's when I say, you know what? Let me drop all the brushes. I'm just going to do comedy content and I'm going to do podcasts because I am no match for this person right here, you know? So, but what he
But
mentioned
that's us being honest with ourselves.
exactly.
Because I
We're
told
being
you my
honest.
transition. Yeah, if I will keep packing and shipping, that is not what I love. I will just be
Exactly.
lying to myself.
Correct. I like that. And you're right. You know, in the nail industry, there's so much that you can do. Just be honest. You don't have to be the best of everything, but you just have to be honest with one thing just to be successful in this industry.
Yeah. Be
Tino,
honest with yourself.
I really appreciate you, Tino. I love
My
talking to you.
pleasure.
I've learned so much from just hearing you. And you answered literally all the questions throughout your story. So thank you so much. And uh, any last advice that you want to give to the Vietnamese nail community, how they can improve?
Vietnamese community, all you need to do is learn. I provide everything for you on YouTube. Don't learn from Instagram or Facebook because those are 1 minute video.
Correct.
Learn on YouTube. They are an hour long, unedited. Learn about products. Remember, just because I do a portrait, that doesn't mean that that's all I do. I have simple things for you because I have met a lot of Vietnamese in beauty show. I hear you. I know your need. I know your desire. I already set all that up on YouTube for you. So learn about the technique, learn about the product, and you are ready for your journey.
And how
You
can they
can
get
make
your
fast
product?
money.
How can they get your product?
They can get the product at my website, www.tinovo.shop.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tino. I appreciate you. If you guys have any questions, any comment, please leave it down the link below. But other than that, I just want to say thank you to Tino for taking the time to join this podcast. Your education is worth more than anything. Your nail art is priceless. Thank you for being such an awesome nail tech.
I appreciate that.
I will see you on my next podcast, and I
All
will
right.
talk to you next time, Tino. Thank you
Bye
so much.
bye.